Well, right here in Canada, we are feeling the economic adventures of what's happening in the Middle East right now with the conflict. We have Ian Lee, Carleton University business professor, to break it all down of what we're seeing right now and what we could see in the days and weeks ahead. Good morning to you.
Morning, Will.
So we're already seeing it with the increase in our gas prices, especially over the last couple of days. When you look at the days ahead, what do you think we're in for as Canadians?
We're certainly going to experience higher prices. There's no question. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil moves through that Strait of Hormuz, which is 21 miles wide. I mean, it's incredibly narrow, and there's 120 ships a day that normally go through there. So when they're not moving through there, it feeds back through the markets instantly. That's the big picture. Having said that, I think that the U.S. government and Trump, because he's so sensitive about prices, the midterm elections coming up, they're going to do everything possible to drive that back down, whether it's negotiate an end to the war or use the Navy to escort tankers through the Persian Gulf, yet to be seen. But I do not believe that we're going to be looking at these prices in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks.
And you know, yesterday, economists were saying, especially in the markets, this is something we haven't seen in potentially a decade when you look at the markets go way up and then settle back down.
Yeah.
When you see something like that, are you very concerned about the future?
I'm not, because when you step back and compare it to, I'll go all the way back to the very first oil crisis, 1973, oil prices went from $2 to I think it was $12. $12 may seem like a bargain. That's a 600% increase. It just blew the markets apart. We are far less dependent on oil today. The IEA, the International Energy Agency, says that the world economy has become much more efficient. Our cars are much more efficient. Our buildings have been retrofitted. And so we're producing a lot more GDP with a lot less energy. Having said that, because the economy around the world, the economies have grown much larger, we're still using twice as much oil in absolute terms as 50 years ago, but we're just using it more efficiently. This is going to accelerate people to alternatives, of course, and it's going to accelerate efficiency investments. So I think the market is going to adjust. The economies are going to adjust. So I'm not pessimistic in the medium and longer term. There will be an adjustment process going on by business and by government.
And you know, top of mind right now is gas prices, especially with the conflict going on in the Middle East. Is there anything else that could be impacted for what's going on from your point of view?
Well, I mean, airlines right now must be just panicking.
Yeah.
And they're all talking about, by the way, surcharges. Anything that uses a lot of energy, transportation, logistics, trucking, airlines, that can't pass on the prices easily are going to be affected by this. The good news for Canadians is, yes, well, first off, we're self-sufficient in oil, both Canada and the United States, oil and natural gas. Yes, we're paying a higher price because it's a world price for oil. Natural gas is not a world price. We have the lowest prices in the world, the Henry Hub price, whereas Asia has a much higher price, as does Europe. So we're insulated from price increases on natural gas side. And on the oil and gas side, we're not going to run out of oil and gas, oil. It's just that we're going to be paying higher prices in the short term until this whole issue in the Middle East is resolved.
Okay, and I would love to end this with a quick point of positivity that you have for us on this whole situation.
The markets, I believe, are going to respond quickly. And I want to point out something, and in all this terrible news, this sounds terrible what I'm going to say, but I don't mean it to be. This is a good news story for Canada in the following sense. Europe and Asia, who consume all of that oil out of the Middle East, have realized how incredibly dependent and vulnerable they are on Middle East oil. They are going to be looking at, you can bet they're already having discussions in all the governments of Asia, China, Japan, South Korea, Europe, saying, we've got to diversify our reliance. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? We want to diversify away from the States. They want to diversify away from the Middle East. Who will they be diversifying away from to buy oil and gas? Hello, Canada. Our comparative advantage just went up vertically because of this terrible set of events in the Middle East as they try to diversify and will be coming to us and pounding on our door. We want Canadian oil and LNG.
I like that. A positive outlook on what's happening right now in the conflict in the Middle East. Ian Lee, Carleton University business professor. Really appreciate your time this morning.
My pleasure, Will. Thank you.